How many are you virgin, or has anyone seen your fire pubes?
Oh my God, Ethan.
I am not a virgin. No,
Okay.
yes, people have seen my fire
good.
pubes.
Well, I'm intrigued by the
Really
whole.
intrigued by the fire pubes.
Yeah,
It's fair.
Well, what is it? So, what's your origin? Are you from like Ireland or not Ireland, Scotland? Where's the red hair from?
Well, it's a recessive trait, so like anybody can kind of have it, but I do have like European, like Germany, Czech, and like a little bit of Irish, like in my family history.
Hey, so sorry to interrupt. PewDiePie just became a member of the channel.
Oh, how nice! Let's get him on Discord quick. PewDiePie, PewDiePie, PewDiePie.
Guy. Let's get PewDiePie on call. 'Cause he's supposed to be. I heard he's supposed to be on the podcast next week.
Next week.
That's accurate.
I forgot my own joke because once he actually came on, we stopped doing it.
He said, "Just join tier 3 sub. Where's the fit pic?"
Oh, PewDiePie's a tier 3 sub. You want to see my feet, bro?
Oh shit!
Oh,
no. Shit. That's gonna be on WikiFeet for sure, dude.
5 stars, bitch. 5 stars. Everybody go to WikiFeet and rate me 5 stars.
Oh man.
And everybody go to Keemstar's WikiFeet and give him 0 stars.
Fuck Keemstar.
Thank you very much for saying that. Well, I've really enjoyed talking to you and learning about you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, and thank you for being a member, and we love you and appreciate you. And keep the. Do you trim the pubes or you just let them go?
When I'm not with anybody, I just let them go. But if my partner has a preference, I'll happy to oblige.
Well, how do you know they have a preference? You know, because
it's all about communication, man. You gotta you talk to your lady.
Yeah, but when you first have sex, you don't really have time to ask what's your preference on my pubes. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe you don't. My sex life's a little different. I like to communicate before I go and do the deed.
So you'll date. So you go on a few dates, and then you're like, tonight's the night. Maybe the 3rd date or whatever, or maybe I don't know what the timeline is for you, but you say, listen.
Sure, you just casually bring it up. You start talking. You do a little of the flirty and the dirty, and then you're like, hey, how do you prefer it? And then
she's like, dude, we haven't had sex. Why are you asking me about pubes?
I mean, because you
sound very
like,
confident.
The conversations where you're clearly like, hey, we might be moving towards that. You're like, oh, what do you like? What are you into?
I'm preparing for the inevitable. I like to gauge your interest on pube length.
So in those situations, are the girls they just go along with the conversation and let you know their preference?
Yeah, sure. If you don't be like weird and awkward about it, you don't just like you don't start out flat off like, hey, how do you prefer my stuff. But if you're talking about, sexual topics already, you're just like, hey, how would you prefer?
This guy gets it.
How do you keep yourself? How do you prefer me?
This guy's a good lover.
It kind of makes sense.
This is a good lover.
He's making a lot of sense.
You could be
your sex
you could write a
therapist,
book,
bro.
I can already tell.
Let me ask you this. I
thank you.
think it's fair to assume most women like it trimmed, though. I think I could go on a limb and say
I would
that.
assume that.
Because, I used to have a wild, going into college, I was a virgin, right? But then the first time I had sex, I was 19 years old. I was my freshman year of college, and I had never trimmed my pubes before, and they were wild, bro. And let me tell you, the girl, she made one comment to me. She says, she laughed, and she said, your pubes are huge. And I was like, do you want me to cut them? But I think she was embarrassed because she was just like, no, I'm just never seen pubes that big.
Yeah, I think the consensus I've heard from partners and just talking in general is most women, of course not all, because you can't say all, but prefer some. They prefer some, but not the full bush.
Not a wax.
And not small. Yeah, not wax.
That's what I found too.
Kelly here just said I don't like it trimmed.
You like it buck wild?
Wants it raw.
What if you got a guy with a real small dick like me, and then the pubes are longer than the dick? I mean, that's not sexy.
I think it's a pretty safe bet to just go with the trim, so it's not full.
Like your beard, I mean, any of your body hair, just keep it nice and clean. Well, what's your preference? Do you prefer it shaved or wild?
I'm not going to turn any. If I'm into the person, I'm not going to turn them down. But I'm a bushman. I don't mind some bush.
You're a bushman. Interesting.
I like the natural. I don't want my. I'm an adult. I don't want him looking like a little girl. I want at least a little something. It doesn't have to be fucking jungle, but show me your lady.
Not all the way. Yeah. That's fair.
Well, thank you very much for the insight. I've had a great conversation with you, and I wish you all the best.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right,
Papa
God bless
bless.
you. Papa bless. There you go. You see that how great of a conversation was that?
That was beautiful.
I mean, touching, illuminating.
I mean, I kind of feel like he kind of blew my mind with the fact that he's so confident and he has no problem like asking those questions.
I do kind of have some doubt about it though, because if I'm in the dating phase, I feel like that's a question for after you've had sex. Because
the dating game's changed since you were in it,
like
though, man.
Yes, we've been together for a long time. Well, what I would do is keep it trim, and then once you've established some sort of relationship, ask if they have a preference. Because the trim is not going to offend anybody.
Ethan.
But but just like so we're going to be having sex tonight, and I was just going to go into the bathroom and use the clippers. So I was just wondering. Have you ever, you know what I used to do? Use the same clippers for my pubes and face.
I think you've mentioned that before.
But it didn't bother me because I always shower afterwards. So I'm like, what does it matter, you know? Not a big deal. I think the trick is to do your beard first. And then the pubes.
Ideally, you should probably have separate.
Well, it's like so many gadgets. Oh, well, look at you, Richie Rich. Two different beard
Two different scissors.